Hey there, SnykCon. I am Ryan Severance, one of the founders of StackHawk, and I am going to run you through a demo of the StackHawk product. We are a dynamic application security testing tool, so modern DAST tooling, built for automation and built for engineers. We believe in running application security tests on every PR. We have some customers who even run it on every commit, and finding problems early, fixing them while you're in the context of the code so that you can make sure that security bugs don't make it into production and that you're able to fix really quickly and get back to building your product. So here on the screen is our scans page. So you can imagine somebody's just opened up a pull request. It runs in CI/CD in our test build environment, and we have a couple of findings that are new here. So let's jump into the finding summary. First thing I'll show you is the paths. This is where you'll see a list of all the paths that were scanned. And then you can jump back over to the findings. And here you see a few different ways to look at a summary of the findings. Up top, you have total findings, so 2 highs, no mediums, and 37 lows. Those numbers are referring to new findings that have not yet been processed by your team. You can see that we have a bunch of findings that are sitting in a different state, either assigned or risk accepted. So what that means is either you've pushed these into your ticketing system, let's say Jira, where you have a Jira issue created, it's in the backlog being prioritized in an upcoming sprint, but you don't want the scanner breaking the build and being noisy, alerting you about the fact that this is still here because it's going to be worked on. Or maybe you have some lows. We have some lows here where we've accepted the risk. We, for one reason or another, are not going to fix it. Maybe it's just not a priority right now. Maybe it is controlled for with some other fix in a different environment. We have our findings grouped by the finding type. Oftentimes, a single fix will control for many of the paths or all of the paths for a particular type of finding. So here you can see we have a couple of new findings that popped up. This would break the build if you've instrumented it that way. You certainly can run it locally, run it in CI/CD in non-blocking mode, but we encourage customers to push toward the point where you have it instrumented in blocking mode so that you catch things. It breaks the build, forces the team to go fix it before you can push these on to production. So in this case, we'd have a couple new findings. So let's jump into this anti-CSRF token. You can see that on this polls question we have a new finding. So over here on the left, you see a summary of what that finding is, a link out to a cheat sheet to how to go fix it. So this tees up engineers on the team to be able to learn about these bugs that maybe they haven't heard of before and fix them themselves. And then over on the right is the evidence of the particular finding. So you have the request that was sent into the application and all of the information there, as well as the response that we get back and the full response body here with a highlight of the evidence of the bug. And then we have this nifty feature of a curl command that helps you go recreate that exact same request. So engineers can take this, step through the code in debug mode with this curl command, recreate the exact same finding, and figure out where you're mishandling information and ultimately get to a fix a lot faster. So perhaps you've taken a look at this and it's something that you can fix really quickly. We love that. And then open or update the pull request and you're good at that point. But maybe this is something that your team needs to spend some more time on. You can send this to Jira, create a Jira ticket, and it includes a lot of the relevant information. You can also add notes here and create the issue. At that point, it gets sent to a Jira ticket. You can see it looks like I clicked on a different one, but this is a summary of those findings. This is some ones that I had previously sent to a Jira ticket, and this includes that information with a link back to that particular finding so that your team can hop back in there and work on a fix whenever it is prioritized. And again, now the nice thing is this is no longer marked as new. So next time the scanner runs, it will not find, or it will still find that, but it will know that it's in an assigned state. It would not break the build, would not be notifying your team that there's something to go fix. So that is a summary of the scan findings. We also have this application screen where you can see a summary of your applications and the current state. So this registration service in the test environment is what we were just looking at. And it's the most recent summary of the findings. So you have 1 high, 37 low, and that are out there right now. And you can see here trends over time that there's findings, and mostly things have been at this point shifted into some form of a triaged state. And this is where you can monitor over time and look for findings to actually be fixed. StackHawk is all about integrating this into CI/CD. So you can see that we integrate with all of the major CI players. If you don't see your particular CI tooling here, we typically can build it out really easily. We also have Jira, we have Datadog, we have Slack. In Slack, you can see a notification of when a scan starts, a summary of the findings that links out to the finding details. I can show you an example here. So here's when the scan started, as well as a summary of the findings. You can map these per team, per channel. So there's a lot of configuration that you can do here to keep engineering in the world and the tooling that they're used to until they need to hop into StackHawk to actually fix an issue. I'll show you a little bit about how the scanner works. So the first thing I'll say is we are built on top of Zap. Many of you likely know the Z Attack Proxy Zap open source project. We are built on top of that. So great scanning engine, most widely used scanner out there. And we have built features. All of our features are around making it easier to automate, run faster in CI/CD, and then the user experience of managing findings, being able to integrate with Jira, with Slack, other engineering tooling. Our configuration is all based on this YAML file. So you have here an application ID that maps to the application in StackHawk. You have your environment, your host where the application is running, and then a variety of other parameters here that you can configure around showing the scanner how to run. So I always like to talk about authentication. This is where you would show the scanner how to run as an authenticated user. And then we also have information down here telling the scanner what to go scan. So we scan, it will do a spider of your application, identify the paths to go scan that way. We also have an AJAX spider for single page applications. We can suck in Open API spec to scan your REST APIs, or you can explicitly list those out and test the underlying REST APIs of your application. We also do GraphQL scanning. So we'll scan your GraphQL, we query the introspection endpoint, build the graph with the various query parameters and mutations, and then go run the scan where it's actively attacking those endpoints as well. So that's the scanner. And then to run a scan, I can kick one off here. It's a Docker command. Nice thing about Docker is it runs anywhere. It's ephemeral environment, so it kicks off the scan, point it at your running application, and it gets started. And it identifies the paths, checks for authentication, and then starts running the checks against it. I will show you a quick summary of the outputs here. So in your terminal, you'll see findings that mirror what you see in the web application, which is nice because if you're reading through CI/CD logs, you'll see the same thing that someone would see in the web app. This is really helpful for iterating locally. And then it always has a link out to the full scan results. So that is StackHawk in a quick overview. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch, and we would love to chat further with you. You can always sign up for a free trial. Reach out. My email address is ryan@stackhawk.com. You can email support@stackhawk.com for any technical support as well. We'd love to chat with you, love to help you out. And again, thanks for taking the time.